Azeem Ibrahim is a fellow at Mansfield College at the University of Oxford and the author of The Rohingyas Inside Myanmar's Hidden Genocide. He joins us now from Chicago. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Now, Aung San Suu Kyi says that ethnic cleansing is not taking place in Myanmar. What's your assessment?
Well, this is being reported as being a great revelation when she said this yesterday to the BBC. But for us, for those of us who have been following her career very closely, this is nothing new at all. She's been very consistent in her denials of any ethnic cleansing going on in the Rakhine district against the Rohingya, despite the overwhelming evidence from almost every international organisation, including the United Nations, and over half a dozen Nobel laureates who have actually gone much further and said that this is actually a slow-motion genocide going on. And before you can tackle any problem, you have to acknowledge the problem actually exists. And Aung San Suu Kyi has consistently denied the Rohingya even exist. She refuses to use the term Rohingya. She refers to them as Muslims in Rakhine. So this is nothing surprising here. She's been very consistent about denying the problem actually even exists.
You say that you're not surprised by this. She's not saying anything new and she's being consistent. But she also said that she refuses to pit one community against another one. The tone is quite defensive, isn't it? Why do you think that is?
Well, this is something that she has said consistently as well, is that both sides are equally to blame, that there's fear on both sides. And for any observer, you know, this is actually the moral equivalence of saying that both sides were to blame for apartheid South Africa, or both the Nazis and the Jews were to blame for the Holocaust. That is actually the moral equivalent. On the one side, you have a state security apparatus with the military, police and border security forces that are essentially cleansing out and expelling and killing and murdering and raping hundreds and thousands of Rohingya people. The United Nations did a report recently in Bangladesh where they interviewed over 220 people, in which over half of the women that were interviewed had been raped or sexually assaulted. And the Human Rights Watch has demonstrated through satellite imageries entire villages that have been burnt down by the security forces. So this idea that both sides are to blame is just a mechanism by which to kick this into the long grass.
It's interesting you mentioned that UN report. Of course, Myanmar did their own report, didn't they, internally, which had completely different findings. Tell us a little bit more about the background, because there is disillusionment with the current administration, isn't there? As it struggles to push through reforms and to ease the unrest.
You know, the government of Myanmar did their own report, which was actually led by a former Lieutenant General, and it was considered as a whitewash. You know, they said that there's no ethnic cleansing going on, that there's no cases of genocide or even cases of malnutrition. And it was a totally bizarre report because it flew in the face of all the evidence from all sides. They refused to tackle this problem simply because, you know, the military has still wields a considerable amount of influence within Myanmar. They still control the majority of the ministries. But as the moral conscience of the country, as its most famous daughter, you know, a Nobel laureate, it falls upon Aung San Suu Kyi to at least say something to alleviate and highlight the difficulty that the Rohingya are actually facing. And she refuses not just to say the word, she actually refuses to even visit the region.
Well, Azeem Ibrahim in Chicago, thank you.